Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Welcome back to DC Movie News Character Corner. I'm Mike Kalinowski, and this week we've got a fan submission, a fan request. He wanted to talk about Rip Hunter, and a lot of you guys chimed in on this because he's new. With a lot of you guys might be seeing him on Legends of Tomorrow. He's the lead on that, but he actually got his start in Showcase 20 in 1959 by Jack Miller. Created him. He was created to essentially be DC's time traveler. Back in the late 50s, 60s, science fiction was huge in entertainment. So they wanted to kind of bring that into the comics. So they created a time traveler. So you had all these space adventures. As his stories went on, they were kind of searching for a way. They kind of ran out of stories. They created a group called Forgotten Heroes. And the editors at DC, what they did is they took all these, but basically were forgotten comic characters that were created but never really used, and they lumped them together to form this kind of like, almost like the show Legends of Tomorrow. It was a group of just heroes that would go off on these missions. Inside that they had a character named Dolphin, had this white hair. She was kind of an Aquaman type character. Animal Man, if you know of him, he was a really cool character to have in that group. Cave Carson was in there, but also Rick Flag, who we know is in Suicide Squad, which is very cool to talk about. So these characters, the Forgotten Heroes, just traveling through time, they would pop up every now and then. They had a limited run of comics, so not much background there. But Rip Hunter is really the only one out of that group that has really maintained any kind of presence in comics. In the 80s and 90s, he was brought in whenever time travel was needed. He'd always pop in somewhere. Being a time traveling character, he could do that. But some writers added the fact that he was actually the son of Booster Gold. So that was really cool. So then that kind of brought him a connection, because Booster Gold in the 80s and 90s was huge, him and Blue Beetle. So now it added a backstory and a layer to Rip Hunter, and he kind of became a full, fleshed out character. And then when DC did a new thing at the time, they did an event called 52. Now this is not New 52 stuff. This is an event where each week they published a title, and it was called 52. And it was a story of Rip Hunter, Booster Gold, Animal Man, all these characters, Starfire was thrown in there, traveling through time, solving these mysteries. Because the very first thing they did, they put this image, and it was Rip Hunter's workshop. And it was a blackboard and had all these just random things on there. It was like Jason Todd with a question mark. Just different characters. And as fans, we got that. We had no idea what any of this stuff was. And we knew that tuning in every week and reading a comic, they would slowly solve these mysteries. I think they might have got a little ahead of themselves, because the more they solved, the more it unraveled. So I don't know if that was their initial, what they wanted to do, but it definitely kept me coming back week after week. In New 52 continuity, he's not really around. Ever since that 52 comic, his biggest time now has been with Legends of Tomorrow. He did a brief appearance in one episode of Brave and the Bold, the Batman TV series, animated show. He was in there, a really cool episode. And they also drew him and his design of the green jumpsuit, which was how he was originally done back in 1959. So that's kind of a cool way to see that. Now in Legends of Tomorrow, we've got this version of him. And it's really cool. I want to let you guys in on a secret with casting. When we're casting TV shows like that, they'll release what's called a breakdown. This is what the casting director, the network will write for the description of the character. They'll do an age, a nationality they want, and a description. And for Rip Hunter, I got my hands on that. And they said a Han Solo roguish type. So kind of when you see Arthur Davil, the actors playing it, a little bit different than that. He does have kind of the roguishness about it, but he doesn't really carry that Han Solo cool guy vibe like a Nathan Fillion on Firefly or Serenity. I think that's more that they wanted. But with Arthur, he's got that background as an actor on Doctor Who. So that brings a whole nother world of fans now to DC, because they watched him on that show, they're going to watch him on this show. So it's interesting to see with casting. You see a lot of Arrow, CW shows, a lot of those people have backgrounds in those sci-fi shows, Battlestar Galactica, Doctor Who. So from an entertainment behind the scenes, you see they want those actors in there because they bring their whole fan base with them to a new show. So guys, that's pretty much Rip Hunter from the DC Comics world and in the DC Universe, the TV version. Again, I'm Mike Kalinowski. You guys send me your ideas who you want to hear about, and we'll see you next time.